I thought I'd make a little post about this one that Gorgi Shepanen, whatever his name is there, has put on about the first 1712 non-existing year was added to history, part 4. Before I start with the short list of past 1000 timeline chronologies, all of the history books which exist in the education system are written by AI in the 19th century. There you go, written by AI in the 19th century. AD in the German Nordic Institute. So everything from 1900 AD and back into the history, there is not a single original document, manuscript or book. They firstly added 1712 non-existing years to the timeline. I found out about this German Nordic Institute from the Macedonian historian, scientist, researcher and publicist by the name of Dr. Peter, whatever his name is, Popovsky, when in his in-depth research of the world history found a lot of inconsistencies of fake history German Nordic Institute promoted and written about it. Firstly, 1152 non-existing years were added to the timeline of history between the 1st AD and 1152 AD. Discovered 1152 non-existing years added to history from the timeline when Jesus was born until 1152 AD. A person by the name of Joseph, oh my god, I hate this, you see his name there, who was a French Jesuit monk who created what we know as 0 AD, the birth of Christ, and 33 years later Christ was crucified, and that sets the timeline we still live to this day follow. So everyone looks at 0 and goes back, but in reality this scientist and mathematician from Russia by the name of, you can see his name, has written 7 volumes about this and had spent 27 years studying this problem with the history. Proved that the use of astronomy and astromerical forensics for 1152 non-existing years were added to history. Wow, is this what we've all been looking for about where it all is? Because we know that much time has been added to history. It says, according to the Star of Bethlehem, where it is in the sky at the time, it could reverse engineer with an algorithm with the software that he believed he used the same knowledge of today to actually backdate and calculate that at that point what we know of 0 AD, it was actually 1152. It was in 1152 when the Star of Bethlehem was in a specific location in the sky. Secondly, after 263 non-existing years were added to the true timeline of history, publishing it back to 796 AD. Thirdly, another 297 non-existing years were added to this true timeline of history between the period of 1500 AD and 1900 AD in order to create the so-called Middle Ages, in which in reality never existed. According to the German historian, there's his name, the calendar is a lie and a chunk of 297 years of Middle Ages were completely made up. In 1991, Herbert, what is that anyway? I'm not saying that other name either, claims that there was conspiracy back in time by the Third World rulers who got together and changed the calendar, adding to it 297 non-existing years. So it's fraudulent historical events and people in order to back themselves up. Well, that is exactly what's happened, isn't it? His claim that the fake Roman Empire, Charlemagne, oh my god, that was all to do with my video with King Arthur's swords, because Excalibur, one of the swords of Arthur, which is supposed to be mythical, but they've got it. The Charlemagne family. So there you go, to Emperor Charlemagne. So that's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, was not in fact a ruler, but simply a King Arthur type legend. Oh my God, there you go. But that's in France, and we're in England. So how can King Arthur be in France as well? He explains that through all this tampering and forgery, an extra 297 years were added to history. He says the inadequate system of dating medieval artifacts, as well as an over-reliance on written history, are to blame. According to his research, the years between 614 and 911 AD do not quite add up. The years prior to 614 were full of historically significant events, and were the years after 911. However, he claims that the ones in between were unusually dull. Yeah, and there's a little bit more there. Wow, well there you go. There's a little bit more. This is quite a long post. When all of these 712 non-existing years are taken away, it is only logical to conclude that Jesus Christ was born in 1712 AD, only 312 years ago from today's 2024. He thought that Jesus was born in 1151 because he did not take into consideration another 560 non-existing years added to history. Well, they have messed up the history so much that even today religious officials are neck and neck with disagreements because there is not a single historical original document which is older than 200 years for everyone to read and consult. It would be good to mention that there, before the creation of the traditional, there was about 200 plus dates who wanted to adapt history to the biblical concept. The age difference was really impressive. The period from creation to Jesus Christ was in the interval between 3,483 and 6,989 years, more than 3,500 years difference. What they did was they took names and events from the real world Macedonian history and invented a lot of fictional stories which never existed to create fake narrative of events and names, and published it millions of fake history books which New World Order education system is using to teach the masses today. So there is not a single original book in existence today which is older than 200 years, and every single public book in existence is a fictional story written by AI in the German Nordic Institute, which was closed in 1212, having fabricated every single subject we learn at school and universities around the world. Wow. All bot utilizes natural language processing (NLP) algorithms and machine learning modules to analyze vast amounts of data, including text, articles and documents. Through this analysis, the AI writer learns the pattern and semtex and context of human language and writes what you have asked to write. They extended the history firstly by 1712 year by copying history from country to country. They changed the names and dates of places and characters, but used the same history with a few changed details there. And there is a different non-existing nations and events were being artificially created. Well, this is exactly what's happened. This guy has got it right. I don't know about the dates, but everything he says is correct. This is what they've done. So true, history is hidden in coded patterns in books that AI was instructed to write, and when they read those books today, they cannot consult the coded guidelines to decode it by processing it through a computer, and the computer will write for them the true story of the world, which to the ordinary reader who does not have access to this software technology for decoding will have fake narrative and different understanding. It's all about the games with words. The true history is written in the open book right there in front of you. But you need to know how to decode it to be able to understand it correctly. Remember that Terence Kemp McKenna, an American botanist and mystic, said about words, "The real secret of magic is that the world is made up of words, and that if you know the words that the world is made up of, you can cover the mystery of the world." Well, thank you very much to this person and his long message. August the 7th he did that. Thank you very much. And oh my God, I can't remember now who sent it to me. But I got sent this to look at. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and to the writer.